The impact of the COVID-19 pandemic has been catastrophic across the globe. Guyana is no exception. COVID-19 has brought with it many economic challenges, which households and businesses are experiencing countrywide. The PPC government, since taking office in August and in keeping with its promise of ensuring all Guyanese benefit from improved livelihoods, has announced a number of measures that will be implemented to bring relief amid the pandemic. Relief hampers are being distributed across the country to those vulnerable communities, some of which have been visited by His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. On Monday, the head of state announced that the government would be providing $25,000 per household as a relief due to the impact of COVID-19. He stated that this has been catered for in the 2020 emergency budget.
The COVID-19 pandemic would have had on life in every single community. We understand how it has affected some community in surviving. And while some community may not feel the impact as much as others, traveling across Guyana over the last 6-7 months, I can tell you, the pain is real. I can tell you, the damage is real. The hurt is real. $25,000 per household for COVID-19 relief. We're hoping that this can help in some way to support families, many of whom do not have enough food to put on the table at this moment. So this $25,000 per household, I know, will go a far way.
It's very good. We would like to applaud the government for coming up with such an idea. At least, it can help out a lot.
Every time PPP come in power, we always get something good from them. We always get a good help. It's something we get good help. For instance, any lease thing is just like we trusting out all this time. And since PPP come for the short time, everything is running out.
It's very good, man. Very good, especially for some person are not working and getting no money and things like that.
Because right now we need it, and sale is very slow. I just really depend on the school canteen. And due to the COVID, nobody ain't coming out to buy.
I have my bills to pay, do my grocery, and I think that will be good.
I'm very glad that, even though this little hamper, it maybe might pay some bill or something with somebody and get, because, some people have courts, you know what I mean? Some people have singers, because they take things before this COVID come in. And, so it would work out good. And I'm glad for it.
That is a very good initiative because it will assist us to help our family in terms of educational wise and provide internet and the kind of services that we need to help them to do online training. So I'm thankful for that assistance to help my family.
I'm going to get $25,000. I'm grateful. It's better than receiving nothing. It can go far away, depends on how you use it. I will like to have mine, and I have uses for mine. I would definitely invest it in my business.
It's not too bad because you got to start from small first before you enter the big thing.
During the last week, the head of state visited several communities in Berbice and along the Linden-Soesdijk Highway, where he engaged with residents and provided much-needed relief for those affected by the novel coronavirus disease 2019, COVID-19. During the discussions with the residents, President Ali assured that before the end of the week, a wide range of interventions will be announced to bring relief to vulnerable communities across Guyana. The president said while the exercise was aimed at identifying the challenging issues, a high-level team will soon be appointed to provide redress in a more comprehensive manner.
We have brought some help with relief for families. By the end of this week, we're going to announce a number of measures that will bring back some vibrancy to the economy, that will put back more money in people's pockets, put back money in the community.
President Ali, during his outreach in Region 6 on Tuesday, said the government is aware of the hardships being faced by the communities and noted that those issues will be addressed.
We know that COVID-19 has also brought its own hardship on the communities that were already stressed and pressed with hard economic fortunes because of the closure of the sugar estate, because of the downturn in the economy. And then these communities themselves has an additional problem because a number of the persons were working with RUSAL or Orandoff, and they too would have lost their jobs over the last month. We also knew that there were limited intervention in terms of bringing relief to the community, bringing relief at the household level, bringing relief at the family level. We are going to ensure we make the necessary investment.
Following his announcement, we spoke to several Guyanese. He said the government has not forgotten its commitments to the people.
We are fully committed to all the promises we have made in the manifesto, and that we are going to work very closely with every community. We are going to work very closely with you in ensuring we understand what your priorities are.
The head of state distributed 800 hampers to families and vulnerable groups in several communities in Region 6, such as Canefield, Adelphi, Gangaram, Betsy Ground, Good Benenen Land, and Reliance. The hampers contain 1 month's supply of foodstuff and hygiene items. The following day, President Ali, accompanied by Minister of Local Government, the Honorable Nigel Darmlal, Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Hugh Todd, Minister of Housing and Water, the Honorable Colin Crowell, and National Security Advisor, Captain Jerry Gavaya, visited communities along the Linden-Soesdijk Highway.
We just wanted to come out today to share a bit with communities and to let you know that the government is working assiduously on many issues in relation to the pandemic and in relation to improving life, giving you a better opportunity at life.
The presidential team visited several communities, including Silver Hill, Kairuni, Lou Creek, Tigerbone, Banakari, Kuru College, and Swan, where he assured those gathered that his government stands firm in ensuring that the promises made during the elections campaign will be met. Several priority areas identified were access to potable water, electricity, health services, creation of jobs, land allocation, and access to education for children in vulnerable communities. The hampers distributed were donated by the Muslim Youth Organization and the private sector. Hampers from the Civil Defense Commission were also utilized for the distribution exercise. Meanwhile, the CDC continues to provide relief to vulnerable households affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. During a recent visit to the Commission's storage facility, which houses COVID-19 relief supplies used to provide support to families and communities affected by the pandemic, Prime Minister Brigadier-Retired the Honorable Mark Phillips expressed satisfaction with its operations.
I'm satisfied with what the Civil Defense has in store here, and they've been doing a lot of good work. And I know last weekend, for example, they delivered over 1,100. Correct me if I'm wrong.
1,000, just over 1,000.
Just over 1,000 food hampers in the hinterland and remote areas. And they would have touched areas as close to our borders. The focus obviously would have been in regions 8 and region 9 over the last weekend. And my understanding is that this week, the focus is on region 1.
Okay.
Right. Communities that are similarly affected and considered to be vulnerable and in need at this time, and our efforts will be in region 1.
From the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in Guyana, the Commission has been on the ground, providing the much-needed support to families and communities across the country hit hardest by its effects.
This bond is where they store the relief supplies that will be delivered throughout the length and breadth of Guyana, wherever people are affected, whether it be by COVID-19 pandemic or any other form of disaster or complex emergencies in Guyana, that the Civil Defense Commission is expected to bring some support and alleviation to the suffering of the people as a result of the pandemic or any form of disaster.
The Prime Minister further conveyed that a budget for additional COVID-19 relief supplies is currently in progress. Once approved, the budget will be made public. Prime Minister Phillips, along with Minister within the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for public affairs, the Honourable Kwame McCoy, on Saturday last visited the community of Kingston to distribute hampers. This exercise was part of the government's efforts to cushion the impact the COVID-19 pandemic has had on citizens.
I really appreciate it because this is something that wasn't happening around, and now that this new government is in, I think it's a timely gesture.
I feel thankful for it on the PPP, and I hope the PPP continue to support we.
I feel great about that it's very good. And God bless the PPP to carry on its good work and hope that in the future we can always benefit more.
The sacrifices of frontline workers are not unseen by the government of Guyana. As such, His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali has announced a $150 million initiative which will benefit the country's healthcare workers.
We understand and appreciate the tremendous work that our health workers, our frontline workers are doing, the sacrifices they are making in ensuring we remain safe and we are protected. As a result, given the work that they have done for COVID-19 and continue to do, we are setting aside $150 million for frontline workers.
Some healthcare professionals expressed gratitude for the government's $150 million initiative for healthcare workers who have been at the forefront amid the COVID-19 pandemic.
I think it's an excellent initiative to acknowledge the workers that are in the middle of this pandemic, making the best efforts that they can to help in whatever way possible. I believe it will help a great deal. Working in the sector, we find that a lot of shortages have caused a decline in the health of our general population, and reducing these taxes would mean better availability of these medications for our patients. And that indeed is just heartwarming as a professional, and of course to see that our health standards have been risen and there's actual efforts being made to better the outcome of this.
Removing the taxes from the electricity and the water and so on would help because of the economic system. At this point of time, a lot of people, some households, half of the people are out of jobs because of the pandemic. So I think it will help a great deal, and I hope that there will be more increases for our healthcare workers because we are the people out here who are saving lives every day. So I greatly appreciate it.
The Ministry of Human Services and Social Security will also be expanding its child care assistance program to provide free child care to frontline workers who are providing an essential service or key public services during the COVID-19 pandemic. Minister of Human Services and Social Security, the Honourable Dr. VINDHYA PERSAUD, during a recent virtual press conference, revealed that assistance will be available to the frontline workers in both the private and public sectors.
Initiative will be open to frontline workers in both private and public sectors, where direct payments will be made to child care facilities. There are a number of criteria, and I'll just give you briefly what some of those are. They'll be available to frontline workers with children who are below the age of 7, and the direct payment will only be made to licensed child care facilities.
The program will be piloted to benefit healthcare workers, police officers, prison officers, fire service officers, security officers, and army officers. Further, Minister PERSAUD highlighted how those workers mentioned can access this service.
Funds will be sent to the employers of all of these essential workers and will be available on the ministry's webpage, which will be up very shortly.
Minister PERSAUD said the ministry will review the program with a view of expanding it to other categories of workers before the end of the year. As the government of Guyana continues to work in the best interest of the Guyanese people, it is also up to us to do our part to flatten the curve. Remember to wash your hands thoroughly and frequently, practice social distancing, and adhere to the guidelines set out.